I want to believe that people in business are rational because money's at stake. If you're hiring someone, you want to make sure the new employee is competent. But it turns out that job recruiters are not rational about that either. Once in my ABC days, I sent pairs of actors out to apply for the same job. I gave them the exact same resume, told them to say roughly the same things, and they did. There was really only one difference between the two people. One was especially good looking. The other was not. Before we sent them out, we had a makeup artist increase the difference. She touched up the lookers and, well, with the others, added some blemishes and bags under their eyes. Then we sent them out in matching outfits. Both applied for the same secretarial job. Even without seeing this recruiter's face, you can hear the warmth in his voice as he talks to pretty Danya.
So I guess it's just me right now.
Yeah.
But, looking for somebody that we like to have a good time at the same time.
To less attractive Amy, the interviewer says roughly the same things, but his tone is less friendly. He tells her there's a lunch break.
Monday through Friday with a 45-minute lunch break.
But with good-looking Danya, the lunch break is more flexible.
Company policy is 45 minutes, but we're not real strict around here on that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He told Danya she was likely to be hired.
You're definitely in the lead right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He later offered her the job. He never even called Amy back.
And the pattern continued with employer after employer. We did the same test with two male actors, same result. The good-looking people did much better. We hear about people being racially biased or sexist, but lookist or looksist? I bet people are even more irrational about good looks. Economist Robin Hanson says we have all kinds of biases that we don't think about, and he writes a blog called Overcoming Bias. So do you buy this lookist bias?
Absolutely. Now, an economist would say he's perfectly rational to be selfish in choosing the woman he likes better, but he probably thinks he's doing it for the company.
And what's the point of your blog, Overcoming? I assume we all try to overcome.
Yeah, a lot of us seem to be a bit blasé about this. Yeah, we're biased, we think, but kids are kids or whatever. But some of us go, oh my God, I'm biased. I could be wrong about everything. How can I deal with that? So some of us want to know, what can we do? How can we actually do better?
And are we wrong about a lot of things?
We're wrong about an awful lot of things. We're biased about who we want to hire. We're biased about who we like and think are better for jobs.
Now, the picture on top of your blog is Ulysses tied to the mast. Why?
Because it's so seductive. We think we're better than other people. We think we're prettier. We think we're moral. We think we're smarter. And Ulysses knew that he couldn't just count on himself not to listen to what they said and believe it. So he had to tie himself. He had to really constrain himself.
And so he ties himself to the mast and he begs the other crew members.
Please, please. But they had wax in their ears so they couldn't hear. And that's the kind of thing we need to do if we're really going to overcome bias, because it's really hard.
For students, they evaluate teachers now in college. You found an interesting bias there.
It's well known that if the class is at a nice time, easy class, you give out more A's, you get better student evaluations. Now, universities could correct for that if they wanted, but they don't bother.
You think it's because the person is a better teacher?
It feels like that.
It feels like that to the rater. He's not just saying, oh, he gave me a good grade.
But just like the recruiter. That recruiter probably felt like this was really a better employee. It just happened to be a prettier employee, but that wasn't really part of the evaluation.
When a person says something, if they have high status, we are more likely to agree with them.
So you're at a party, and there's a physicist, prominent person, and he's pontificating about education. And on the other side of the room, there's a grade school teacher. Say they disagree about it. Now, who are you going to support? Well, the high status person, of course. You're going to listen to them, of course, because they're a big shot.
Sometimes you look for bias where you think you will find it, and you don't find this. You found this in the case of movie reviews.
Yeah, it turns out that a place like Fox owns a lot of different outlets, some of which review movies, and some of them are movies made by Fox. But it turns out they're not biased.
20th Century Fox makes movies like Avatar and iRobot, and also Dr. Dolittle 2. Fox also owns the Wall Street Journal, New York Post. They have reviewers. And you're telling me they don't give better reviews to Fox movies?
Yeah, they don't. Why?
You'd think they'd worry about getting fired or getting demoted by their bosses.
Readers care about fair reviews, and there's a discipline, a market discipline, so that you need to supply the customers with what they want if you're going to succeed.
And I don't mean to single out Fox here. This applies to a bunch of other companies
Absolutely.
that own movie studios. I could just use those films.
Right. So why aren't they biased, though, you could say? I mean, they work for Fox. They feel good about Fox. Why don't these biases work for them? Because they have an incentive.
To please the audience.
Incentives can
their
overcome
reputation.
biases. Right.
Prediction markets help people do that.
Bet on it. So you've probably been in a conversation, an argument, where you get really pompous and you just make all these big claims, and then somebody says, okay, let's bet on it. And you'd feel it right then. You go, oh, wait a minute. What exactly were we betting on? How are we going to word that exactly again? I didn't really mean that part. I was just saying something like this. And you back off and you clarify because you kind of know. Now you're on the hook. Incentives change your mind.
And prediction markets are groups of people doing that at locations like Predictit.com or Betfair, betting on future events, and they are more accurate than pundits.
Absolutely. So if you want to find out what the best estimate on a question is, and there's a betting market on it, just go look at the odds.
Thank you, Robert Hanson.